Hello
Hello
there.
there.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 22nd episode of Star Wars in a Galaxy. I'm Jacob,
I'm Eli.
and this is the show where we watch all the Star Wars we can get our hands on. Today, we're going to be watching the first 30 minutes of the 2003 animated Clone Wars show by Gennady Tartakovsky. I was really excited for this. This is one of my
This
favorite
is crazy
shows.
for us because neither of us have watched this fully all the way through.
Yeah,
It's
that's
it's
true.
the first thing that ever has happened in a galaxy where both of us are going in for the most part blind. Future Eli here. I forgot to do one quick acknowledgement, which is thank you to Darth Speed Force Entertainment for the providing of the full Clone Wars video. You can find the link to their compilation of all the Clone Wars, not the Clone Wars, but Clone Wars, in the description of this episode. So thank you, Darth Speed Force Entertainment.
Yeah.
Now, I knew
And-
some stuff about, like, some of the surrounding lore, but there's not a lot of stuff we knew about this going in.
Yeah, I've watched snippets and I like it, but I've never seen the whole thing before, so this is pretty exciting for us.
So let's clear this up, okay? Star
Okay.
Wars Clone Wars. I never thought I would have to differentiate between two series by the word "the."
Yep.
But
Clone Wars and
this
the
is
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
These are the times we live in.
This is 2D animated. This was produced and put out between the years of 2003 and 2004 and 2005. This is Legends. The entire series takes place over like basically 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yes.
And it was made by a very small crew in the span of 2 weeks.
They made the entire thing in 2 weeks.
Yes.
It's so polished. It's so good. How is it even possible?
Let me look this. I want to look this back up because I don't know how much was done in 2 weeks. I'm not sure if that includes like the voice
That's
work
crazy.
and
I mean, there isn't much voice work to speak of in this thing.
No, that's one of the weirdest things that's so jarring to me about it is that the series was developed in 2 weeks and created by a small crew, according to the. Yeah, that's crazy. It's nuts.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if you realize this, there are a lot of actors who eventually went on to be in the Clone Wars that are in this.
That's funny.
First of all, do you realize who Obi-Wan Kenobi is?
Is it James Arnold Taylor?
It's James Arnold Taylor.
Old golden boy himself.
And Yoda's Tom Kane.
That's
And
pretty awesome.
Mace Windu is Terrence Carson. And C-3PO is D'Anthony Daniels, as I call him.
Wow, big names.
And my favorite one, this is one of the things I researched. Count Dooku is indeed Corey Burton, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
So we got some big names in this that will end up later being in other Star Wars stuff. Let me ask you something, okay?
Yep.
So, for this sort of thing, Yoda serves as a weird sort of narrator. Did you
It's
notice
kind
that?
of like the role that is it? Because I always thought it was Admiral Wheelaren's voice who served the narrator role in the Clone Wars. Is that right?
It's actually they have similar voices, but I think it's a separate character being the narrator because there are certain places that Yularen could never have been.
That's true.
For that to work out. No,
I
I think it's just a
too
separate
meta.
narrator character. But is it just me, or do I kind of like the Yoda narration idea better?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
Just
I feel
narrating Yoda's voice. I love.
Fans at war, walking around the planet Ryloth.
I like that, but like, just have Yoda do it all. Why not? It works here.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, I like it. It's an interesting choice, given that it kind of breaks the continuity
It
a
does.
little bit to have him be like kind of a narrator. But I think it works. It works.
I mean,
with
it's a
the
little
show,
general, so
clearly.
you can't. He doesn't ever reference anything really specific other than the Clone Wars are being fought, Jedi are being involved, and Anakin Skywalker is special.
Yeah, that's true. He's just kind of doing like the exposition. So
He is doing an exposition, and I love it so much. Did you notice that first of all, did you notice Anakin's arm?
it is a golden arm.
It's
I noticed
yellow.
Oh, it's yellow.
I don't know if it was yellow or gold. Why is it yellow?
Because it's metal, I guess, right?
It's gray in the movies, I'm pretty sure. It's like silvery gray in the movies. It's a weird inconsistency that I noticed, like, almost, like, instantly. It was so weird. Why
So
is it yellow?
That, like, bug you?
It bugged me a little bit. It bugged me a little bit, I gotta say.
Why is it yellow? Good question.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
C-3PO has yellow.
he has his golden armor, but like, yeah, yeah, it bugged me a little bit. But trust me, there's actually very little of this that actually bugs me. I think this is pretty cool. This whole thing is really, there's some meat in here. Did you notice?
Definitely.
So let's go to the first like little mini scene, which is Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Yoda in Palpatine's office.
Yeah.
Did you notice?
No, that's the first mini scene?
Like
the first mini scene is the battle scene on the Kaibuk. Or the scene where there's the big cavalry charge.
I mean, there is that, but I didn't write anything down for that. Did you write anything down with that?
Yes, I did, actually. So Yoda is the animal Yoda is riding on is a Kaibuk. And in Legends, at least in this continuity, Yoda had a kite. The Kaibuk is like a mounted animal that Yoda is riding in there. In Legends, it was given to him by a princess as a thank you gift when he saved her. And Yoda brought the Kaibuk back to the Jedi Temple and kept it in an extensive garden underneath the Jedi Temple. But instead of kind of keeping it as a pet, he treated it as a friend and an equal. And Kaibuks are not normally mount animals, but of course Yoda is like a 2 foot tall talking frog, so that wasn't really an issue.
And I saw in your notes that you talk about it in the Jedi Path, which is when you said Kaibuk, I'm like, wait, doesn't Yoda write about a Kaibuk in the Jedi Path book?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, in the Jedi Path, this is interesting. Maybe there's multiple different versions of this of the Kaibuk thing in canon or in Legends, because in the Jedi Path, Yoda says that they allude to Yoda having multiple Kaibuks and using them as battle mounts and losing them in battle, which seems incongruous with the way they describe the Kaibuk in this lore version. So
it also seems incongruous with the fact that, you know, the Jedi shouldn't be having to fight many battles before the Clone Wars, because it's said that the Republic before that is in an era of peacetime. So that also doesn't really add up. But okay, that's really cool. I didn't notice the Kaibuk thing. But did you notice in The Office? I just want to go back to The Office. Did you notice that? So you know that little mini conversation Palpatine and Obi-Wan have.
Yeah, I have some observations about that when you're ready.
It is literally a devil and angel situation. Like they're literally standing on either side of Anakin. It's crystal clear, and I love it.
Yeah, I think it's cool how much it mirrors. I mean, before the Clone Wars came out, and it was even apparent. It's cool how much it mirrors the Clone Wars show, the kind of way that Palpatine is stroking Anakin's ego and trying to drive a wedge in between him and the Jedi. And it's honestly, in this scene, it's kind of shocking that the Jedi don't have an inkling of what's going on, because it's pretty I think Palpatine's being pretty heavy-handed with it, but as he's taking advantage of the Jedi's, I guess ignorance maybe is the word.
Ignorance.
It's
really cool. There's a lot of interest. What I love about this is what I love about the Star Wars Clone Wars. I think I'm just gonna call it like Star Wars Clone Wars in abbreviations. I'm gonna go SWCW because I don't want to.
That actually takes more syllables to say.
Yeah, but like not saying it, but typing it.
Bad news.
No, not saying it, but typing it. I was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But what I love about this, what I love about what we saw in this was that there were a lot of interesting ideas in there. They were planting a lot of interesting seeds about why the Clone Wars were the way they were and how the Jedi dealt with it, and should they have dealt with it differently. There's a lot of interesting like kind of seeds planted in this that I'm really digging.
That's nice. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Obi-Wan references Qui-Gon Jinn.
He does reference Qui-Gon. Yeah, I definitely noticed.
Not even Master Qui-Gon could have prepared someone for this. And then it got me thinking. I don't know if you thought of this. It got me thinking about. So what would Qui-Gon have done in the Clone Wars?
Yeah, like what would his stance have been?
Because I'm 99% sure he would have just walked away from the Order. I'm 99%
Really?
sure I think he would have said, no, this is not the Jedi's role in this. The Jedi are not meant to be warriors. They're meant to be peacekeepers. They're meant to be, they're not meant to be generals in a war.
So you
That's
think
not
so
how...
you think he'd be of that opinion? Interesting.
Yeah, I do.
I could
really
see
do.
him going that way. I could also see it like going the opposite way, and him like really getting into the idea of like the Jedi needing to kind of, I guess, protect the Republic. But I think you maybe.
I don't know.
I think you're
He's
right.
always
I think
had
you're right.
like a maverick streak in him.
Yeah, I feel like he did the thing. All the stuff he says about the living force kind of seems like that would hew pretty well with the idea that the Jedi are like losing their way and whatnot, and shouldn't be getting involved so much with the politics, and should be trying to listen to the will of the Force.
There is a thing with Qui-Gon where you get the sense that he feels like the Jedi are way more active than they should be. I think he thinks the Jedi should be more passive, more looking into the nature of the Force and helping and not fighting and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like the Jedi are peacekeepers, not soldiers.
Yeah. Also,
Like
did
kind
you
of
notice? This is one of my favorite things. So one of the things I kind of knew about this going into this, but one of the things I immediately like kind of noticed about about Star Wars Clone Wars is how dramatic everything is.
Yeah, it's like
How exaggerated everything is. There's this
I kind of like that about
sense with that Lucasfilm is giving with Legends these days, that Legends are the stories that canon, like there's often a sense that Legends is the stories that canon people, like regular people in the canon universe, are like telling around the campfire, and this fits that perfectly. And the first thing
That's an interesting idea. I've never thought of it that way.
The first thing I caught about this was, I think below you wrote down about it in your notes, but when Anakin throws his cloak off.
Yeah, when Anakin
that
throws
was
his
so
cloak
dramatic.
off.
I mean, like, seriously. Anakin is a drama queen in that scene.
I kind of liked it, though. I felt like it encapsulates, well, I guess the campy, kind of that little bit of campiness kind of captures the kind of, I'm not sure quite what the word I'm looking for is, the feel of the show. I feel like it encapsulates that well.
It's really cool.
I'm a fan of it.
I like it. One of the other things that I feel like we should discuss now, because it's going to come up later. There's not a lot of dialogue.
There is not a lot of dialogue, yeah.
There's just not a lot.
Makes sense.
It's jarring to me, because I like a lot of that dialogue where it's like, especially because they're sacrificing dialogue for more visually stunning things with the action sequences. Like, yeah. I feel like I want more from those action sequences. They're taking the southern position, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, it's weird to just have these long sequences without dialogue. And like, I was thinking about like The Mandalorian, episode 2 of The Mandalorian. That episode does not have a lot of dialogue. What it makes up for is visual scenery and especially music. Like, do you remember the like illustrious music that was like, remember in the scene where they were like Mandalore, like the Din Djarin was in he had that little campfire and Yoda kept healing him. That scene had the most beautiful music and visual imagery, and I think I would have wanted that a little bit more from this.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Personally, it didn't bother me as much as it bothered me in the prequels. I don't know why. I was like, you know what, it's fine. Like, this is clearly like a, not gonna say it's a low budget show, but it's clearly like, it feels like a passion project.
Yeah,
so
it
I'm
definitely
not worried about it.
It definitely does. So now we get to our first like really major story after Munilist, after the first campaign on Munilist, we get to the story on the planet of Dak, which is the Legend's name for Mon Cala.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
because in canon, I don't know if it's in canon, but I remember reading in a Star Wars atlas a while ago that Dak is what maybe the Corran call Mon Calamari Dak. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
But
to look into that.
We're on the planet of Dak, which is also like Mon Cala. And I don't know if you noticed this, but
it's Water War.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing as that arc in season 4 of the Clone Wars.
The exact same mace, not Kit Mace, is the
Kit
exact
Fisto.
same like Kit Fisto.
And they're on the same sides, the Mon Calamari on the sides of the Republic, and the Corran are on the sides of the Separatists. I mean, like, that's... It made me wonder, and I researched this, by the way, if Dave Filoni inspired his arc of the Clone Wars off of this, or if there's any evidence.
Yeah.
Believe it or not,
that's interesting, yeah.
I couldn't find anything.
Nothing.
I could not find anything about how much Filoni inspired that off of this thing. I mean, I gotta say, it's too similar. Like, they're too similar in some ways for it to be a complete coincidence, I feel like. We have our reintroduction of the bifurcating cyclical ignition pulse from a couple episodes back on Kamino, remember?
Oh, yes. The lightsaber.
That was actually the thing. When I went to research that, the image of Fisto holding his lightsaber underwater was the first image that came up, actually.
It makes sense.
Which, if you guys haven't watched that episode, basically, the bifurcating cyclical ignition pulse creates a double pulse in the lightsaber that prevents it from shorting out underwater. That's pretty much it. You know those creatures that the Mon Calamari Knights were riding?
Yeah.
I wanted to know what those creatures were.
What are those?
They're called Keel Kana.
Keel Kana? What are...
Yes. And I did some research on them, and I get to do... This is hilarious. So, if you follow us on Twitter, by the way, follow us on Twitter, you most likely know that I am a huge fan of Star Wars Explained and Alex and Molly Damon. And I'm so excited because one of the things that they used to do more, but they still do quite a bit now, is they do like short informational videos on different species and characters and all of that, just almost like a video Wikipedia page. So I'm going to do my best impersonation of Alex Damon right now. I'm so excited I can do this. Okay, here we go. Keel Kana were non-sentient species of aquatic eel-like creatures that were native to the ocean world of Dak. They grew to be several meters long and were employed as mounts by the Mon Calamari Knights. They saw a lot of use during the Battle of Dak, fought in the opening months of the Clone Wars, and they helped push back the battle droids and the machines of the Corran Isolation League. In other news, they were actually brought to canon in the Fantasy Flight Games role-playing supplement, Gadgets and Gear.
Wow.
That's it for this episode. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and check out our Patreon.
Nice.
That was not me. That was me impersonating Alex Damon. Alex, Molly, I love you guys. I hope you don't mind. I had to do that out of pure fan inspiration. And so, the next thing is we're back on Munilist. And we get the introduction of maybe my favorite character in this entire 30 minutes. Durge. Yeah, Durge is awesome. I didn't know a lot about Star Wars Clone Wars, but I knew about Durge. Durge is a badass. I love Durge.
Do you want to talk about Durge's, like, some information about Durge? Because I have some information I found. I don't know if you have
Go ahead about Durge. I love Durge. Right. You can do the information about Durge, and I can fawn over Durge because I love Durge. So
he is, from my notes, he is a Gendai species, which I never heard of before.
Very rare.
And according to Wikipedia, he was active as a bounty hunter for at least 2,000 years. And at one point, he was buried alive for 60 years. So he he hated Mandalorians, and
Yes, he did.
that was what like, got him recruited. Was he wanted to be able to kill clone troopers who looked like Mandalorians, they dressed like Mandalorians, and they were clones of Mandalorians. So
Yeah,
it
so
makes
he just
sense.
like, let's do this. He had such. You want to talk about his capabilities and
I
all of
think you
that
should
kind of
go
stuff.
for it. I don't have that in my notes.
Durge's capabilities. He's crazy. Basically, Durge is made out of very strong muscle tissue, and why this is important is because he is like so hard to kill. He is the most ridiculously hard to kill.
Yeah.
Kenobi does that thing later in the episode that's probably very notorious. You saw this where he stabbed him through the heart.
Oh yeah.
He stabbed him through the heart, and then Durge just laughs. He just laughs. And the reason he can do that is because his muscle tissue regrows so quickly that it basically just doesn't affect him. And you know the thing where he exploded, where he was exploded from the inside by Obi-Wan, who he basically, this is just going into a little bit later in the sequence, but he basically encapsulates Obi-Wan, and then Obi-Wan just rips him apart from the inside with the Force, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't die. He's not dead. He's not dead.
That's crazy.
He doesn't actually die in Star Wars Clone Wars, the series, actually. He dies in a comic in Legends, believe it or not. And do you know what it takes to kill that guy?
What does it take?
Anakin Skywalker Force pushes him to an escape pod. And then using the dark side of the Force is able to Force push that escape pod into a nearby sun. It takes a literal sun to kill Durge.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I just got it. Durge is incredible. I love Durge. Durge is amazing. He's Durge. I can never get enough of Durge. He also just space jousts everywhere, which is awesome. I also researched his droids who he was charging with?
The Lancer droids, correct?
They're called the IG Lancer combat droids. They're IG units like IG-88, IG-11, and the Magna Guards.
Those are Legends only, right?
The Lancer droids, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And by the way, just want to point out, Durge should be canon.
Durge,
They should bring
Durge into canon.
They should nerf Durge. They should nerf Durge. They should make him so powerful like they did in Clone Wars. I mean, that was cool, but it makes no sense logistically and with the way the canon universe works. They should nerf Durge and they should bring him into canon. Hashtag bring Durge into canon.
Hashtag make Durge canon. That would be awesome.
Hashtag make Durge canon.
Can you imagine? I don't know. I don't think we would want to see Durge in live action.
High Republic Durge.
Oh god.
He lives for thousands of years. They can do it anytime they want.
That's a good thing about Durge. They could put him in anywhere they
They could literally put him in anywhere, and it could probably work. Though I don't fancy Durge much in the sequel trilogy era. I don't think that would be great. But no, they could do it. Durge in the High Republic, I think it should happen. Anything else about the Lancer stuff with Durge and all of the jousting stuff, which is so ridiculous but so awesome at the same time?
Yeah, no, I think I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Rat Attack. Like Dooku's going to Rat Attack, and he's in this arena.
Yeah.
And of course, who does he find in this arena? Asajj Ventress.
Dude, can I just say the way Asajj Ventress comes in is so cool when she oh my gosh.
I know this
awesome.
is gonna upset you, Jacob.
I don't even know how to describe it.
I know it's gonna upset you. I'm not a huge fan of Ventress. I'm not a huge Ventress person.
Explain. How come?
I don't know. I find her. Here's the thing. In the Clone Wars, I'm not a huge Ventress fan. I find her kind of bland, and I find her kind of unintimidating, honestly. But in Star Wars Clone Wars, man, she's awesome.
Everyone in this is like
one of the things insane. That this nails is they get their villains on point.
They do get their
Ventress is incredible. Durge is incredible. Soon we will see Grievous. Grievous is more intimidating in this 2D animated show, I think, than any Star Wars villain in any Star Wars movie is. Period. Full stop.
Yeah.
Grievous is a monster. But compare both Grievous and Ventress to the Clone Wars counterparts. They look like cowards. They look like jokes. I will say that about both Durge and Ventress. But let's go to Ventress. Did you notice her and Dooku's apparent lack of articles?
Yeah, that was...
I am Sith. No, you are not Sith. I'm like...
Maybe that... I don't know. Maybe that's just...
Is that correct? Does that work?
I am Sith. I guess... I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird. Also, yeah. She is... that arena is filled with so many fierce people, and she just carves through all of them. It's incredible. It almost reminds me there's a similar arena sequence in the middle of Jedi Fallen Order, where Cal is trapped by a crime syndicate called the Caxian Brood and forced to fight a bunch of beasts and bounty hunters in an arena.
Yeah.
So it reminded me of that. By the way, let's talk about Ventress, because she has somehow a blue and green lightsaber.
Yeah. I mean, I think the blue and green lightsabers come from actually what she was. I believe the backstory is that she was stranded on Ratatak. No, she was an orphan on Ratatak.
Yeah, and then Kynarek was...
Kynarek rescued her, and then she had a lightsaber, and she took Kynarek's lightsaber, and then she started
See, you'd think that'd be
Kynarek's lightsaber, and then she started dual wielding. At least in the Clone Wars, but
in the Clone Wars, right? There's a
Yeah.
big problem with that, right?
yeah.
Clone Wars was made first. You know what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say?
Not quite.
Well, how could they have said? How could they have done? How could they couldn't know that they were going to invent Kynarek unless they'd invented Kynarek already?
Well, maybe in Legends, I'm not sure. That's a good point, but I'm guessing in Legends maybe she took her lightsabers
Let's
from
see.
someone else.
Narek
Or she
is in
stole
a
them.
comic.
I don't know.
Narek is in a comic. Let's see. I'm looking at this. Jedi Mace Windu. That wouldn't be. Actually, there's a possibility that he could have been. Apparently, he was created before the Clone Wars. Before Star Wars Clone Wars, actually.
Okay.
So it is entirely possible that he was indeed created before. Let's see, Dreadnoughts of Rendili. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's weird, but yeah, I couldn't find anything. If Kynarek wasn't invented back then I don't know how she got those lightsabers. If she was, then it's clear. But let's not talk about her old lightsabers. Let's talk about her new lightsabers.
They're gifted.
Did you notice the plot connection?
I don't know if I know what you're referring to.
Whose lightsabers were those?
I don't know.
Jacob, they were Komari Vosa's.
Komari Vosa. Who's Komari Vosa? That name sounds familiar, but I can't put my finger on it.
Vosa.
Vosa.
From the guy, the woman, she's the head of the Bando Gora. Jango Fett kills her in Bounty Hunter.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's one of those, like, connection moments that, like, once I saw those lightsabers, I'm like, so, nice regifting, Dooku. You had a bounty hunter kill your former apprentice, your apprentice, and then give the lightsabers from your old apprentice to your new apprentice. Bodes well for her.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that connection.
It's a cool one for sure.
It's a cool one. Also, did you notice Dooku flying?
Yeah, I did notice Dooku flying.
What's up with Dooku flying?
Oh, they fly now!
They fly now?
They fly now!
Force fly.
I mean, I know it's dramatic, but Dooku is flying!
Force flight.
I didn't think that was a force power. I didn't think that's something you could do with the force.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember reading about it. It's not coming up on Wikipedia right now.
Oh, I guess it's technically a TK thing. The telekinesis thing.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
I didn't really know that was a thing, but it's kind of crazy. It's kind of
I don't like the idea of force flight, but like force flight, yeah. No.
It's just kind of the cool over the top. I guess like the crazy over the topness of it. It kind of like, oh yeah, of course this is Clone Wars. Of course Dooku can fly in this.
That was my thing. Like, of course they're going to flaunt
like
the. You know.
It feels like it matches the right kind of over the topness of it with the massive scale of the battles and the whole Durge thing and just the super dramatic and the crazy, like the ridiculous
I like it. It's
badassery.
Just crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I feel like it kind of fits the over the top vibe of the show though. So
also, did you notice there was an inconsistency with lightning in this?
There was. I'm not sure that I noticed.
Count Dooku throws Force Lightning at Obi-Wan in Attack of the Clones. Obi-Wan holds up lightsaber. Lightning comes spewing into it and nothing. Right?
Yeah.
Dooku Force Lightning's Ventress. Ventress, I would argue at this point, is more powerful than Attack of the Clones Kenobi.
What? Oh, okay. That's a discussion for another time. I don't want to get sidetracked.
Even if she's close, it doesn't matter. Even if she's close, Count Dooku sends the exact same lightning at her. Two lightsabers on, flying out of her hands, and she's knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
What gives?
Well,
now here's the thing, Jacob. The thing about the Ventress thing, I'm saying Ventress was more powerful than Obi-Wan in Attack of the Clones. At this point in the Clone Wars, I think Obi-Wan's more powerful.
Okay. I would just say I would just explain that away by just saying it's a skill you have to learn.
Okay.
Maybe Obi-Wan knows how, and
it just
doesn't.
It just caught me unaware because usually with a lightsaber in your hand, you're pretty good against Force lightning. But I guess
that's true. That's true.
Me. That's everything I have for this. For Clone Wars, there's a lot of really interesting concepts in this. I'm finding myself entranced by all the concepts. I'm excited to see Grievous. I'm excited to see Grievous the Menace. Nothing at all like he was in Revenge of the Sith. Nothing at all like he was in the Clone Wars. Future Eli, Jacob and I forgot to do our little intro for the segment idea, of course. So I'm gonna do it right now.
1/4 portion.
Also, we didn't really have a name for this at the time, but Jacob and I have since come up with a name. It's a long story. So, yeah, back to the episode.
Explain a Star Wars plot badly.
So, yeah, Jacob and I are going to explain a Star Wars plot badly. And we're going to try and have the other one guess, what we are referencing. Jacob's going to do a movie, and I'm going to do an episode of the Clone Wars, okay?
Yeah. All right.
You want to go first? You want me to?
You go first.
Okay. A young woman leaves, her super selective cult to join another cult that she grew up in. But, because of that, the other cult that she just left gets really angry and sends their robot army to go try and kill her. They wipe out her entire other cult, but she survives. What episode of the Clone Wars is that?
I don't know. That's tough. I don't know. I don't think I know this.
The episode of the Clone Wars I am referring to is Massacre.
Oh, yeah.
It's the young woman is Saj Ventress. The cult that she left is the Sith. The Sith, of course, grow angry at Ventress because for power they try and kill her. She escapes to the other cult, which is the Night Sisters.
Yes.
And then they send their robot army, the Separatist droid army, to go hunt all the Night Sisters down. Okay, what is your... and it doesn't have to be of the whole thing. It can just be a part of a movie or something. What is your bad summary?
All right. Uh-oh. Wait, I just... All right. A wannabe Jedi learns that the Force is more than just about moving rocks. And then at the end of the movie, ends up having to move rocks.
It's The Last Jedi.
Yes, it's The Last Jedi. Nice. Maybe that was a little easy, but yeah.
No, but it, you know...
You got that one good, though. You got that one good, yeah.
Yeah, I knew specifically about moving rocks. I'm like, oh yeah, that's Last Jedi. Yeah. Let's talk about next week.
All right.
Let's talk about next week. Next week, we're doing a panel at Force Fest, people!
Woo! That's pretty awesome.
10 a.m. PST, August 30th, Star Wars Opinions Live, everyone! Hoo boy.
I'm pretty hyped.
In the meantime, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow us on Spotify, Anchor, Breaker,
wherever
Radio Public, Google Podcasts, Apple
we'll
Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. I've been forgetting this for the last 5 or 6 times, and I want to do it this time. Leave a review for us, 5-star review, please. There
Give
we
us
go.
Some feedback. Ask a question. Give us your hot
anything.
Take.
You can do that. You can do that on
on
Twitter too. And yeah, make the Force be with you always.
Thank you for listening.